Hi again, it's me, Nash. I'm back with another video, and I will be premiering it, and you already know this because it's premiered, because it's just what I do for the videos that make it over 20 minutes, which, you know, are far and few between. Anyway, you're probably gonna want to skip a couple minutes or so into this video, because this is kind of a message for the not so good artist, person who knows me, but it's actually also a message for you too, so just listen if you want to. I am going to be writing a series, it's a fanfic about demon slayers, and their antagonists will be, well, the demons you have created. I know this is presumptuous of me to use them, but I've already thought of all these abilities, and the main inspiration for this wasn't that I needed antagonists, it was that I saw all these comments throughout the video saying someone needs to make a series about these guys. Maybe they meant it jokingly, but I guess they kind of stuck with me. So when I started thinking about writing a fanfic about demon slayers, yeah, they just popped in as my antagonist. And it's not just gonna be the Spizuki, the Shizuki, or these guys, the Akazuki. I'm gonna be doing all three of them. 36 powerful demons, all in one place, or one universe. It's gonna be tricky, but I'll navigate it somehow. I already have a base plot going. A nice idea for the protagonists, a nice idea for who the final demon antagonist is going to be. So got that going for me. I'm going to start writing this after I finish my Sayakumono series, for which I will be posting a link in the comment section below. And also, it's not just going to be after I finish part 1, and it's complicated, but I've divided Sayakumono into 2 sections. Rise of Sayakumono is just a small part of one section. And once I finish the first section, I will start making the Demon Slayer fanfic. Also, it's going to be in the same universe as Sayakumono, so that'll be fun. It's gonna be complicated, I know, but I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to do it because 1, I feel you deserve to know, and 2, well, they're your creations. You kind of have to know, and you kind of have to give me permission, or at least know about it and not do anything, because then I'll be doing copyright law, or breaking copyright law. I should probably specify that. And I don't want to do that. So, so yeah, long story short, I'm making a fanfic series with your demons as the antagonists. Will I be using your Hashira? Maybe. It's looking more and more towards a no, but it's complicated. So I don't think I will be using your Hashira, but I might. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Yeah, going according to scripting has not gotten any easier. Yeah, the point is, you've done all these drawings and you've never really asked for anything in return. In fact, all you've done is fulfill our requests, and I just figure this is a small way of saying thank you. Yeah, I would very much like to hear what you think, and I very much need your permission to do this, so yeah. Or else when I do it, I'll be breaking copyright law. So that'll be fun. Alright, 4:45, I'll put that in the comments section. Okay, let's get to what you've all here for. The Akazuki and their abilities and backstories explained. First up, Lower Moon 6. black and white Zetsu. Their ability is that, well, they have two abilities really, because there's, well, two of them, if you can't tell. Also, I'm gonna be doing this little demon card thing now. So, like, they're like collector cards, haha. Yeah, so maybe, make your own. This isn't to you. I should probably clarify, the rest of this is now to the general audience, specifically. Though the thing I said before was kind of to the general audience, but, yeah, I don't know, I forgot. Okay, the Black Zetsu. Where is the sound coming from? Okay. We done? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. The Black Zetsu's ability is that he is incredibly strong. Okay, well that's kind of a given. He's a lower moon. He's incredibly strong. Not really as strong as the upper rank. In fact, nowhere near. I'd say he's about as strong as, say, a Tsuchinote? Something like that? Yeah, point is, he's very physically strong. Not strong enough to challenge a Hashira without his regenerative abilities, but physically very strong. He and the White Demon and White Zetsu are linked, so whenever he takes damage, that the energy from that damage is transferred to White Zetsu, who uses it to create his White Zetsu clones, allowing them to confuse the enemy. They often use their hands so that in close combat, their enemy becomes quickly overwhelmed. If needed, they can split up, with White Zetsu becoming his own man, and Black Zetsu becoming their, kinda man. He's not really a very independent guy, but yeah, they're still very strong. And however, you can't really see it in this design, but they both have the number on their eye, and this stays the same. But however, the clones just have regular eyes. This is how you're able to find the actual White Zetsu and cut his head off. I figured I'd put in a challenge for beheading each Zetsu if they ever, for when they split up. So White Zetsu's challenge is actually finding him amongst all the clones. And Black Zetsu, it's just that he's physically very strong. Again, not enough to challenge a Hashira without his regenerative abilities, but yeah, still fairly strong. Like Taki and Gyutaro, I don't know why I say it like that, it's just so fun. Like Taki and Gyutaro, the only way to permanently kill them is if you cut both their heads off. Speaking of which, it always says you need to cut both their heads off at the same time, but that's kind of a misconception. It doesn't have to be at the exact same time, though it would be more convenient if it was. You just have to cut one head off and then cut the other head off before the other can reattach the head that got cut off. I'm going to assume that made sense. It made sense when I wrote it out. Alright, let's move on. Lower Moon 5. Hidan. Oh god, what is that ugly black mark on his neck? It's me. It's me. I drew that. Sorry for if the art gets kind of ruined. I mean, you can see the original picture in the thumbnail, but look, I just kind of needed that. Whoops. Okay, also. God damn it. Before I move on, his backstory is... His backstory is that he was imprisoned in a mental asylum for his double personality. Again, this was a long time. Well, actually, it's not really a mental asylum. It's just like a prison, because this is olden times. He was deemed to be insane and a danger to everyone. His hatred for humans grew, blah blah blah. He turned into a demon, and boom. Demon brothers? They're technically, yeah, they're brothers. Okay, up next. Lower Moon 5, Hidan. Now, as for why I drew the line on his neck, it relates to his demon ability, which is basically just the same. Before, he ingests a part of your blood, draws the circle. Oh, now any damage that goes onto him gets sent back to you, yada yada yada. Yada. But however, this time, whenever he ingests someone's blood, all those red red markings, you can see them gesturing to them. They zoom around his body and form that weird tristar, what? And form the kill symbol. I'm just gonna call it the kill circle in the center of his chest. So he can still affect your move. So he can still injure you while injuring himself, but he doesn't stay in the circle. And it's also much harder to disrupt the circle easier really, because all you have to do is just like slice a part of his body that the part of it is slice the area his circle is in, and the circle will dispel and go back to his original markings, and he'd need to consume your blood all over again. It's making it a real big hassle for him. Yeah. However, this also means that unless you make sure to only damage the circle in a way that isn't fatal to the person whose blood he's consumed, they'll probably die without medical attention. His backstory is that he believed he was protected by Jashin, so he would do the whole murdering shtick. However, he was then turned into a demon because he attacked the wrong guy. This caused him to, pretty much go more insane, but he still ended up believing in Jashin because he believed that he had become the immortal, advocator for Jashin, and now kills anyone who disagrees with the name on it. So, pretty much the same as before. And as for the line on his neck, if you cut him specifically down that very thin line, which wouldn't be a problem if you're an experienced Word Slayer, the person he's bonded with, I should clarify, this line of it, the line stays there even after he's formed his kill circle. So as long as you cut it specifically down that line, none of the he won't be beheaded as well. Also, again, forgot something. Again, this was so much simpler when I read it out and practiced it on script. The way he's able to kill demons is by using the clones, which he can build up inside him and store for later, to carry the demons out into the sun, and then when the sun rises, sure, the clones get destroyed, but he can make more, and as does the demon he wishes to kill. So yeah, that's kind of terrifying. Yeah. His way of killing demons is by beheading himself with that scythe he carries around. It isn't Nichirin, but one, it's enhanced by him being a demon, and two, if he beheads himself, not on the line though, if he beheads himself by that line, even if it's not by a Nichirin sword, he will die. If he beheads himself just right above or below that line with it, not only will he be able to retouch his head, but a demon that he's linked with, if he wishes to kill them, will be beheaded and, dead. So, yeah. Okay, up next, Lower Moon 4, Deidara. Deidara? Katsu Deidara? I know Katsu's his last name. Whatever. Okay. Where was I? His demon art ability is that you can't see it, but his blood can be... But there are these, compartments on his waist, like how he has in like how his Akatsuki counterpart has, only they're a part of him. The blood from his hips expels into them, and then they form and become a white clay substance. He can then chew them up with his mouth, hands, craft them, and expand them however he wishes. with limits, of course. The limit being how much clay he uses. He has a hidden if he eats them with his mouth, he will be turned into a bomb. He turns himself into a bomb, which is pretty easy for like a Hashira to get away from. But if you behead him before that, it's all good. However, but he himself won't be killed because he's a demon. However, if there's a mouth on his chest. If he uses the mouth on his chest, he will become a bomb that spans a much farther range than his Akatsuki counterpart does. This will kill him permanently. And the worst part is, this isn't even his actual demon art. It's like Rui with his strings. They're incredibly tough to cut, but they're not his actual blood demon art. His actual blood demon art involves involves making clay, but it's also red. So a bright, flashy red, to be clear. Here, not only is this clay much more powerful than the white clay, but it's also imbued with the ability to destroy demon cells, which is how he kills and supports demons. However, if he also uses this red clay to detonate himself, even if it's just by opening it in his mouth, he will die permanently because, destroy demon cells. His backstory is that he was an aspiring artist who only ever had dreams to make to make people smile. However, until somebody stole his work and set his shop on fire, killing his family, who he traveled with. After that, he was approached by a demon, and, well, yeah, turned into this. Now he only aspires to cause destruction, and even though he knows it's destruction, he also sees it as nothing but art. So, yeah. Okay, this is Kakazu. His ability is hard to explain, not because it's complicated, but because it's, complicated to explain. The 5 hearts he has are for the main breathing styles. Can I remember them all? Okay, there's fire, water, thunder. Okay, then there's wind. There was a 4th one. I know it. Oh, fuck, what is it? Okay, and stone. Was it stone? I'm assuming it's stone. Yeah, actually, no, it is stone. It is stone. The 5 hearts each represent those 5 breathing forms, and any breathing form that is made from it is automatically grouped into that heart. When he kills a demon slayer, he can turn and eats them. He turns their body into, a heart of his. Wait a sec. Yes. When he does that, he can make that heart fight in his stead. And when he is beheaded, it will be the heart that gets destroyed. However, if he eats 5, and if he eats all 5 of the main breathing forms, you'll have to behead him 5 times. Or you can just behead each of the 5 warriors, and then behead him. It's like, pretty. Actually, yeah, if you just behead all 5 of the warriors, then he dies because all of its hearts die. However, this is easier said than done, because if he eats multiple users of the same main breath style, then that heart will become that much more powerful and much harder to cut off. So Oh, some usually just find it easier to just behead Akazu 5 times. Again, this is easier said than done. And when they say it's easier to just behead him 5 times, it's only like very slightly easier because of all the warriors that are coming at you. His backstory is that he was sacrificed by his village when they were owed money. He was essentially just, what's the word, surgeried on? Medical on? Amputated on? The dude was essentially cut up, stitched back together. He was harvested for organs, okay? I know, it's hard. I tried to dance around it, but he was harvested for organs, and he was left without them on death's door. Then a demon came to him, and, yeah. Fun. You made me say it. Are you happy? Also, in case it wasn't clear, he usually keeps the Nichirin sword, so that's how he beheads Insolent Demon. Lower Moon 3, everybody. Whoa. Okay, up next. Alright, let's get showtime. Lower Moon 2, Sasori. He actually... Okay, come on. The closest thing he has to a blood demon art is the poison blood attacks, like Gyutaro. Though he can't actually weaponize the poison it's himself, he can, however, coat his many mechanicalist marvels with it. He's actually quite the ingenious man, and he uses the metal combined with his demon blood to make corpse puppets out of both the living and new. He does this by throwing a blood demon chunk of he starts with a blood demon chunk of metal. Once it's on a person or an object or any living thing, he can, aside from trees, it has to have a mind and a body, and you get what I'm saying. And after that, the thing just becomes a demon under his control. Okay. And after that, he can just like experiment on the demon whenever he so wishes, and make them as powerful as he wants. Okay, yeah. He tends to also make purely metal puppets, but he finds those don't work nearly as well in battle. The tip of his tail is also like coated with Nichirin that he's taken from all the demon slayers he's killed, and yeah, from all the demon slayers he's killed, and he just coated them in it. That is one of the ways he disposes of demons to try and fight his controls. If the demon he's put under his puppet control tries to resist, he can just snap his fingers, and because it's under his control, the demon will die. He used to be a humble puppet maker who also dabbled in the weapons business. However, one day a group of men came to his house and tried to get weapons for free. He said no, so they ended up leaving, only to later stab him brutally from the back. He was left there to die. He was turned into a demon, and from his back, he connected a couple of metal parts, which eventually formed the tail you see behind him. He often still retains his flair for entertaining people, and often goes out in town and puts on shows. People usually buy the tail he has as like a prop, a very advanced prop, mind you, but still a prop, and the eyes he has as a rare genetic effect, or lenses, or whatever he lets people believe. He truly enjoys this aspect, but he will kill any of them if he finds out if they find out he's a demon. So, And, you know, he'll kill people who, if he needs to eat. So because of this, he's one of the few humans who can actually, demons, who can actually disguise themselves as humans, like Daki does. Alright. Alright, up next. Up next, Lower Moon 1, Orochimaru. He was originally the serpent. He was originally a serpent Hashira, one of the weaker ones, mind you, but it's still a Hashira. His body strength was very deficient, so he made up for it by utilizing his speed to his advantage. However, he soon grew tired of his life as a human because he realized that he would never be able to know everything. Because as he was a Hashira, he was also a scientist of sorts, who experimented with becoming immortal. He thought he had finally found it, but accidentally became a demon. The other Hashira were horrified at what he had done and sought to kill him. Although Orochimaru wasn't particularly fond of them, he still, at one point or another, would have fought life and limb just to keep them from dying. So, understandably, he was betrayed. His blood demon art is that he controls an army of demons. Well, they're not really an army of demon snakes since they come from his body. Though they have a very short range, they're incredibly fast, and their poison can both turn someone into a demon, who he can kill with the snap of his fingers if he so wishes, or inject with the deadly poison. The snake that he has for a tongue is ironically, well, not ironically, but oddly enough, the one he uses as his new sword. His true form is, okay, has anyone actually watched the Naruto Shippuden? Because, well, you know that giant snake form we see for like 5 seconds? Yeah, that's his actual form. I know it's not actually 5 seconds, but come on, we could have seen more of that. That is his true form. Although the Akazuki version looks much more demonic, has black markings on it, and is much more terrifying. Although this one is slower than the snakes he can sprout from his body, from the 10 snakes he can sprout from his body. Well, not 10 snakes, like he can spawn at least 10 at a time from his body. It's never really been sure how many snakes he can. But again, short range. So, in order to defeat his 8-headed snake form, you would have to behead all of the heads within a minute. Which, you know, it is kind of easy, but because again, giant serpent, pretty slow, but also giant serpent. It's a giant serpent. I hope the message got to you. Yeah. He actively tries to find ways to make demons immune to sunlight, but clearly it hasn't worked. All right, on to the upper moon. Upper moon. Come on. Upper moon 6. Kisame. Okay, this one is quite the oddity. He wasn't actually a demon slayer, but he was a very proud swordsman. And when he was confronted with the demon, he continuously beheaded it long into the night until the sun rose. He was quite fascinated with these and actively sought them out. And the demons ended up well mistaking him for a very brutal demon slayer who didn't just kill demons, he kept them there so that they could die by the sun. So yeah, Eventually, though, a more powerful demon came to him and turned him into one. It was only then he actually knew what demons, he actually found out what demons were, and he was actually pretty excited. Now he could battle all he wants and kill all he wanted. He essentially had his life's purpose fulfilled. Even more so that constantly more powerful people would come to fight him. So he fought. His blood demon is that the sword of his is alive. The needles on it are actually the Nichiren swords that have been warped and twisted by Kisami's blood. It can actually act on its own, though it isn't very agile. Through battle, Kisami has actually learned how to use water breathing, and he uses his blood demon art to control said water, causing tsunami, and manipulate the water around him, though not on a very molecular scale, more on a wide range scale, so he can't like immediately dry up a forest or dry up a Hashiraki. He can't even do it at all, really. So he doesn't really try because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. I had a point here. Yeah, point is he usually tries to fight near large bodies of water as to his advantage, but if he has like a cup of water or like a fishbowl or something, he can use that to enhance his attacks. As I said before, the demon sword he has isn't really agile, but in water, it's a different story. Though he needs to dispatch blood to it in order to make it work in order to make it work. However, it can't. Once it comes back to him. Okay, you see the arm that has a shark fin on it? It essentially fuses with his arm and turns the arm and it turns his entire body into the demon, into the shark man you saw in the shark into the man shark you saw, only instead it's accented by red fins. However, the arm that holds his sword goes a much more monstrous transformation, as he doesn't even have a hand, more of it's a shark that doesn't have eyes. His hand turns into a mouth, and it's much more compact and it's not larger, but it's definitely more menacing as just one red blood fin would be on the other arms. This one would be covered in them. Well, not covered, more like it would have 5 of them. The Nichiren sword is how he beheads demons, but this demon shark possesses extreme agility and strength, especially in the water. So, yeah, he's terrifying. The video's not done yet. I know it seems like that. I'm just getting the next one started. Okay. Yep. Okay. Up next, Upper Moon 5, Conan. It's ironic. Have you seen the Espada? The Akatsuki has Espada? Okay, you probably haven't. Maybe you have. Yeah, just go to D Not So Good Artist channel. She's actually also she's also number 5 on the Espada there too. That's spoilers. Yeah, that's spoilers. Okay, I forgot what I said. Her blood demon art is that she can create small pieces of paper that are they're talisman-shaped pieces of paper, and can fold them and she has to actually fold them while they're inside her body, but she can't control them telekinetically. Though she can't actually force them into any shape once they leave her body. However, the demon art amplifies this immensely, and they become blood red, a bright red. Well, yeah, bright red. She's actually able to fold these pieces of paper whenever wishes, unlike with the white pieces of paper that need to be formed inside her body, and can unleash devastating attacks with them. They're also, she can also control them she can also make them move at much higher speeds than the white pieces of paper. She uses them to form shurikens, wards, and she can also kind of like stick them into her body and form like a demon paper shogun. Does that sound nice? Sound like it makes sense? It's pretty terrifying once you actually see it, believe me. She uses this ability to hold insubordinate demons out in the sunlight so they can burn. And also, it should be clear that her paper does as well burn in the sunlight, and can. So yeah. Funny enough, when she loses control of the paper or abandons it, the paper will slowly but surely inch towards her. It's noticeable, but it doesn't really get anywhere fast because, again, it's a piece of paper. Unless she chooses to disintegrate it, people can use this as like a compass to find her. But again, can't be in the sunlight, or else, burns up. Her backstory is that she and Upper Moon 1, when Upper Moon 1 was human, lived in a very much war-torn battleground. She always cursed the gods that had been cool enough to put her in this place. She actively hates the demon slayers, not because they kill demons, but because they ignored her suffering, because at the time, they were the closest thing to gods she could have. I'll get more into her and Upper Moon 1's backstory later, when I actually get to Upper Moon 1. Up next. Upper Moon 4, Obito. I actually for his ability, I drew inspiration from the fact that he has a staff, yeah, it's a staff. It's a staff. It's a staff. Okay, yeah. From the demon arc, from his back there are embedded 5 orbs. Once he lets them all out, he can use them to levitate himself and to fly. However, once he sends them out as an opponent, he has to keep at least one and to keep afloat. And even then, if it's only one, it's like pretty shaky stability, so he can't really move while he's doing it. However, his true menacing ability is that he can create wormholes with his hand. Whenever he opens a wormhole, he has to see it, or better yet, or he has to know exactly where he is, which he always does with his orbs because they're telekinetically connected to him. So that's fun. Yeah, and also due to, I don't know if you can see it, but he has the Rinnegan on. And in this version, it means that when something goes into his portals, it doesn't go to a different dimension, it just ends up its speed just amplifies when it comes out of the portal. I drew inspiration from this from Pain's Deva Path, which is the gravity one, meaning that when something goes in, it takes the speed it's currently going at and amplifies the gravity, and when it comes out, it's much faster. If he can keep, the faster it goes, though, the harder it is to keep track of it. So he can send them through so he can send his orbs through a couple of portals before losing control of them and having them slam into wherever. These orbs also have the unique ability to actually destroy a demon's head by just bashing into them, so that's fun. The staff he has is actually, we'll get more on the staff later, and it's not just his orbs he can teleport, it's also stuff like rocks and sticks, which doesn't sound bad, but when the speed is exponentially increased, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty bad. Am I reading something? Yes. Because it's a vortex, he can also send humans through it and have them slam into things at high speeds, causing them to die. And even though they're his portals, he's still not. He can't just send part of an object through. It has to be a whole object. So unless he actually rips a hand off a demon slayer and sends it through it, he'd send the whole demon slayer through, which wouldn't kill them, but the impact sure will. Unless it was a Hashira. Though if they went through enough portals, then yeah, they'd probably die on impact. I said probably. Although both hands send portals, he always keeps one hand on the staff he held, because Obito Uchiha actually used to be a priest for the Uchiha clan, until he saw, and in this clan, they're actually a shinobi clan, and though they operate in secret, they actually worked with other shinobi clans, and he ended up meeting someone named Rin from another clan, along with Kakashi. Although they were from neighboring clans and were taught to be emotionless, they secretly became friends, until Kakashi was ordered to kill Rin and Obito. Kakashi couldn't do it, and Rin couldn't bear to see Kakashi or her friend die, so they both made a very hard choice. And they had to make it believable, so they were right in front of Obito. They killed themselves with Obito's stolen weapons, making it seem like they had failed to kill him. Obito himself blamed him for this and blamed the world for this, but mainly himself, because he was the one who had let it slip that they had become friends, because he had gotten caught sneaking out. In his despair, he went into a priest for help. And also, it was a mistake to say he was a priest. The staff he has belonged to the priest. So he went to a priest for help. Though this priest was of the Uchiha clan and simply told him he did the right thing. Because he said that they were dead because of me. Obito, enraged, killed the priest with his own staff and everyone at that monastery. A demon, impressed by this, approached him, turned him into a demon. Yeah. Also, given the Renegon, should be pretty obvious who turned him into a demon. The demon respected him for his rage at the world and sympathized with him, although, murderous time. He always holds on to that staff because it is the closest reminder he has, given he wasn't able to ever get a photo with them due to, secrecy. And every time he looks at it, he sees the three swirling things, I don't know what they're called, and thinks of the three of them. So yeah, that's fun. Alright, up next, Upper Moon 3. Itachi Uchiha, he's back! And he's a demon. So, it kinda cancels out. Itachi Uchiha commands an army of birds. Which, doesn't really sound that bad, but, it's an army of birds. And although they're not demon birds, they're still pretty annoying, and they're stronger than the average birds. Ooh, they're like Tengen's muscle mice. That's what they're like. Except, they're crows. But so, kind of more dangerous. However, the bird at his side is actually a pet he kept, and he has grown to see it as a friend. It actually has 4 wings, can fly much faster than the average crow, regeneration, and 4 eyes, stuff like that. It likes. Through the army of crows he controls through his demon blood which actually, funny enough, in small, this is actually a fact I was curiously found out by Itachi. As long as it's small doses of demon blood, and it's from a species that isn't human, they don't actually turn into full demons. They don't get the full strength buff, but they still get stronger than the average whatever not human species. So, and they can still go in the sun. So yeah, through his army of crows, he actively watches the area he's in, ready to run should he ever see a demon. And he does this because, and he says run, but really if Muzan's watching him, he stays. And also if he doesn't want to look suspicious. Usually he just avoids them, but if they're here, he avoids demon slayers, but if they're here to actually kill him, he has no choice but to. He actually sends crows out on reconnaissance to watch demon slayers train, and through this he has developed his own technique. It's crow breathing form. It's like Mihawk's breathing, but with a smaller sword. So while Mihawk's hawk breathing uses large, fast devastating blows, his uses quick, fast, and smaller blows that are still pretty damaging. So yeah, he's a pain to fight. Yeah. If you look into the eyes of him or his demon crow, you essentially get trapped into a world in which he has complete control over. He can make it a nightmare, he can make it a dream, anything he wishes. Though he usually just makes it a dream because he still feels sorry for those he kills anyway. He just makes other people think it's a night. He just makes those watching from the outside think it's a nightmare. Think I've done everything. Except you know his backstory. He too is of Obito's Uchiha clan, and he was approached by a Upper Moon 1 and wished to destroy his village due to the pain they caused across the land. And however, Itachi volunteered to do it himself out of two conditions. Actually, no. It was the Upper Moon 1 who wanted him to do it, so that he could feel the pain that his village caused others. He would slaughter everyone in the Uchiha village except his younger brother. At the time, Itachi was not a demon, but his brother had thought he was, and this, well, it kind of broke his heart because his brother saw him as a demon, and in this grief, he wished for Upper Moon 1 to turn him into one, and he did. Okay. Oh yeah. The way that he kills insubordinate demons is by having his crows carry them off to the sun. So that's terrifying. Alright, getting to the top 2. Upper Moon 2. Sasuke Uchiha. Also, yeah, I should probably put the Konohashira 12 link to this video. Oh, 2, shouldn't I? Yeah, I probably should. Yeah. When he decapitated his brother as a Hashira, yeah, Upper Moon 1 came and told him of the truth of his brother. In his despair, he had mass hatred, and yeah, he kind of went a bit crazy and turned himself into a demon. He wanted to say he had nowhere to go, and looking at him now, he realized he couldn't go back. So he joined the upper ranks of demon society out of just pure craziness. I mean, the fact that he had killed his own brother who only wanted him safe. And he didn't have a disease to justify himself, so yeah, it kind of broke him. I mean, look at the scars on his body. They are not just on his body, they are on his brain. Look at that look in his face. He is the embodiment of a broken man. So, like, yeah, I kind of feel sorry for him. Due to his new demon body, he has learned multiple, even more breath styles, and can use them simultaneously due to his demon nature. He can use both thunder and fire breathing consecutively. So that's that's terrifying. Along with his moon breathing, he is very terrifying. He also inherited his brother's ability to put people in a trance, though he usually uses it to inflict the same pain he felt on others. So, yeah. Also, since he's a demon slayer, cuts a demon's head off, they're dead. Yeah. And now, the upper moon one. Y'all know who it is. Get ready for the one, the only, Bane. Alright, that could have done with a more epic intro. I hope it's zoomy. I'm kind of running out the clock here. Yeah. His ability, as simple as it is the same as his counterpart's ability. 5-second cooldown and can control gravity. He can make you go up. He can make you go down. He can force you down. Though at max, his ability only lasts 5 seconds with the 5-second cooldown. But I mean, he can also stick these dark red rods in you that are heavy, and then reverse your gravity, and then you'll fall up pretty quickly and then down pretty badly. Yeah. Okay. And that's just this Pain's ability. You can't see it, but the earrings and piercings are actually a dark red, because, you know, those are the rods that creates his body. He actually has 7 blood demon hearts, so that's true. The true, one is this path, the Deva path, which is, you know, the gravity thing, so that's fun. He can also carry no he can't, that's the other one. There is the Asura path, which can turn his body into missiles that, powered by demon blood, are very much explosive. Then there is the animal path, which stores demonic animals in his body and then sends them out at will. Two more. Yeah, I don't remember the names of the other paths. I'm sorry. Look, they're all just pretty unique, and they're never actually referenced in the anime. So, yeah, I am surprised I actually remembered 3, well 4 actually, but yeah. The next 2 are the energy draining pain, which once he puts his hands on you, drains your energy at a rapid pace, which, slow at first, only increases through contact. Because of this, that pain is quite adept at physical combat. The final pain, the second to final pain is the interrogation pain, which can absorb a person's body and learn all the knowledge that they know, leaving their bodies as actual husks. So, this pain actually has the King of Hell popping out of his body as he crouches down. The king, it's actually called the King of Hell, the giant mouth thing. Yeah. Again, if the pain catches you with it, all he needs is a full 10 seconds. Unless you can cut off his arm, you're pretty screwed. Yeah. Originally, the final pain well, was gonna be the same as in the anime, but I found out it's practically the same thing, only he yanks your soul out of your body. So, we're not doing that. Also, I should clarify that the pain that uses the King of Hell, he takes in the souls of the person and keeps their memories, while their physical strength goes to the one controlling all the pains and is spread out amongst all the pains. Yeah, the sixth pain path is actually the one who uses those black rods. It can produce them out of his body endlessly. Not only are they very, he can also shoot, so he shoots them out like arrows. He shoots them out of his body like arrows, which, you know, all the other pains in the anime can do, but not this one. He actually has to give the rods to the other pains. What he does is, I'm sorry, I'm always tongue-tied. What he does, okay, these dark red rods are actually blood red rods made from the demon blood. And not only can they kill a person, if he so wishes, he can turn him into a demon. But usually they just serve as attacking weapons. They're incredibly hard. They're actually pretty easy. No, they're not easy to break. They're not easy to break, but they can be knocked out of his hand because, you know, it's like a circle. There's no grip in anything. I'm tired. What was I doing? Okay, yeah, so that's all 6 pain paths. I should clarify that the animal path can store the other 5 pains in his body and then release them when he so chooses, so that's pretty terrifying. Yeah, when you decapitate one of the pains, the body doesn't disintegrate, it just lies there, and he's unable to do anything because both the body and the head are numb. However, the King of Hell path can, like, shove you into the giant King of Hell's mouth, eat you up, and chew and spit the pain body out brand new. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Yeah. However, the one controlling all of these is actually Nagato, who wields who wields all. Actually, wait, what am I doing? He doesn't wield 7 blood demon arts. He wields 6. Yeah, that's a bit of humor for you guys. Haha. I'm hilarious. Praise me. Yeah. This Nagato is actually, like, fused with the chair. 1, because he's been sitting in it for so long, and 2, because he's a demon. It's kind of what he does. Yeah. He can use all 6 of the paths at once, but only when they're not in any corpses. But doing so puts stress on his body. So afterward, if he uses it for he can use it for I'd say 30 minutes before the effects. Actually no, 15 minutes. But no, actually yeah, he can use it for a period of time, but eventually it'll put too much stress on his body. And when he does have all of them in his hand, his body turns into something very terrifying. The chair becomes this oh yeah, I should clarify that when he's not using all 6 pain arts, he can manipulate the chair as like this whole giant spider mobile, chop people's heads off, stab people, that type of thing. Yeah. When he has all 6 of them in his body grows out of control into this monster that's kind of a mix of all of them. It's giant and lizard based for the animal part. It can fire off blood missiles for the Asura part. The King of Hell is there. Is like a back mirror that can shift around the body. Well, now it can't shift around the body. It's yeah, so Pain's, yeah, I should clarify that Pain's still there. His chair just sits at the top of the monster's forehead. So he's technically a part of it. But yeah. The King of Hell path acts as is on the well, actually, yeah, no, the King of Hell is actually there. He doesn't appear until the monster actually grabs you. It can also fire off the dark red rods, and well, yeah, that's painful. What's the second one? What's the final one? I've done all of them. Okay, which ones have I covered? Okay, the Dave. Okay, let me get the script. Let me just get the script. Okay. Yeah, it can also absorb energy, and it can also absorb energy. I should clarify that. Yeah. His ultimate jutsu is when he uses his gravity pain and soaks an object in its blood. Once it's done, it'll attract any bloodshed and use that power to slowly rise up and gain a gravitational pull, eventually becoming this giant meteor in the sky. Pain can then drop the rock whenever he wants, causing massive destruction. So yeah, that's fun. His backstory is that, screw it, I'm gonna stop holding this. I want use of my other goddamn hand. Okay. His backstory is that he and Conan grew up in a war-torn land, and yeah, he used to be friends with this kid named Yahiko. But the war ended up putting him in critical condition. He cursed everyone for putting his friend in this situation. Until he was approached by Muzan. He was given blood and learned about demon slayers and rushed to save his friend. But he wasn't able to do it in time, and instead all he got was his friend's corpse. So that's fun. After learning about demon slayers, he curses them in all existence and looks down on him, even if they are stronger than him, which he's Superman 1, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. And even if his head is cut off, even if you have to cut off the original's head to kill him. And I should clarify that the way he kills a demon is by overloading him with the demon blood, like Muzan does. That even if they behead him, even if it's proven time and again that they are stronger than him, he will always look down on him because they just stood by and did nothing. Because unless they slay evil humans or demons, they'd still be protecting him. They just chose to ignore his land. So yeah, that is the Akazuki. I like to think the Not So Good artist did a good job. Yeah. Also remember, I shall post a link when the entirety of Sayaku Ono Section 1 is finished. Until then, guess I'm signing off. And again, I will post a link to my archive of our own account in the comments below. I'm gonna have to post a lot of links. This is gonna be a pain. Until then, again, Demon Slayer fanfic uses all these powerful demons. It's gonna be a wild ride. Hoping I'm not forgetting anything. Again, thank you for making these amazing drawings and art. I owe you a lot. Okay. Bye. Also, yeah, thanks for staying to the end of this video. Bye.